When it comes to talking about the best English managers in the world, right now one name tops that list. Buckinghamshire-born Eddie Howe. The 47-year-old Newcastle United manager has proven himself to be a great coach with the job he did at Bournemouth and now at Newcastle. However, when it comes to analysing Howe as a tactician and a coach, he seems to fly under the radar and his name is rarely mentioned in the conversations about the best managers in the Premier League. Managers such as Roberto De Zerbi and Andoni Iraola have rightfully been credited for the jobs they've done at Brighton and Bournemouth. But has the performance of Eddie Howe as a coach been underrated? First at Bournemouth, keeping them in the Premier League, and now with Newcastle, surviving relegation, finishing fourth, while making it to 2 cup finals in 3 years and winning Newcastle their first domestic trophy in 70 years. Was Sam Allardyce right the whole time? If his name was Eddie Howe, would he get more credit for the job he's done at Newcastle? Is it fair not to consider Howe an elite coach? Today I'm breaking down why I personally believe Eddie Howe is one of the best managers in the Premier League. To do this, I'm going to look at his tactics, principles, player development and footballing philosophy. Let's start with the tactics. Howe has played a 4-3-3 formation in all but one match this season, the EFL Cup semi-final second leg against Arsenal. It's been Howe's default formation since he took over. In the season Newcastle finished 4th, he started with a 4-3-3 formation in every match across all competitions. But to quote Pep Guardiola, formations on a team sheet are just telephone numbers. So to analyse Newcastle, we need to look at the players and the in and out of possession principles. Let's start with out of possession. Howe mostly opts for a 5-4-1 or a 4-5-1 shape, depending on the quality of the opposition. This shape allows Newcastle to be compact, typically defending in a mid-block, looking to win the ball in the middle third of the pitch and transition defence into offence with speed and intensity. Newcastle under Howe switch between a mid-block and a high press, often opting a press high when a team is building from their goalkeeper, particularly when playing at home where the energy and intensity of their pressing can overwhelm teams in a similar way to Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool sides. There's no doubt that pressing high has been a hallmark of Eddie Howe's Newcastle side since day one and is the principle in which his tactics are built on. Howe is not a manager who prioritises possession. His Newcastle side for 3 seasons in a row have averaged just over 50% in the league. While not a possession-based side, Newcastle are also not a long ball team and like to build up from the goalkeeper to the middle thirds. It's centrally where Newcastle look to attack directly over patient possession play. The midfielders often switch the play to the wingers, while the fullbacks will underlap or overlap where they can send crosses into the box. The wide players are given freedom to attack inside or outside and go at their man 1v1 and try and create an overload. Newcastle under Howe have a preference for athletic, energetic, box-to-box midfielders. Offensively, Howe has talked a lot about freedom within the structure, giving his best offensive players set patterns of play while also allowing his most talented players the ability to express themselves on the pitch. For example, a player like Alexander Isak, while he has instructions to follow, particularly off the ball, on the ball in the final third, his individual creativity and talent is something that needs to be set free. A marker for any great coach is their ability to improve and develop players. It's something Howe has done since day one. Here are a few of the most prominent examples. Signed as a forward under Steve Bruce, Howe quickly identified Joe Linton was a specimen. Best utilised as a box-to-box midfielder, he's become one of the key men in Howe's team, winning duels, bossing the midfield, driving forward in transition. His importance was on full display in the Carabao Cup final. Howe turned Gordon from a raw, unrefined winger at Everton to one of the best left wingers in the Premier League and an England international. Gordon has talked about Howe's level of tactical instruction being key to his development in interviews since joining Newcastle from Everton. Murphy has improved every season under Howe, and for a long time he was a player who drove the fans mad, but this season he's flourishing as a dynamic wide forward who works tirelessly in and out of possession. He's also developed a great combination with Alexander Isak, assisting him 8 times in the league this season. You can also look at Fabian Schär, Sean Longstaff, and even Miguel Almiron for players Howe has got the best out of during his Newcastle tenure. It's clear Howe is a very methodical coach who knows how to get the best out of his players by A. Giving them clear and concise tactical instructions, B. Putting players in their best positions to perform, and C. Working and developing players on the training ground. Howe is a methodical manager who clearly spends hours analysing his opponents. The best example of that this season was the second leg of the EFL Cup semi-final against Arsenal. Howe switched from his nominal 4-3-3 formation and opted for a man-to-man marking scheme across the pitch, which led to centre-back Fabian Schär pinching the ball off Declan Rice inside the penalty box, leading to Newcastle scoring their second goal of the night in a comprehensive 2-0 win. The match was a sign of Howe's tactical preparation and ability to adjust the shape to the opposition while adhering to his principles. It's not just the Cup semi-final match though. Howe has conducted several huge wins as Newcastle manager, most notably the Carabao Cup final, where his Newcastle side outplayed and outclassed league leaders and Premier League champions to be Liverpool. For me, there's three managers when you look at the league Howe is behind: Pep Guardiola, Arne Slot and Unai Emery. After those three, I think you have a real debate about his standing. Arsenal fans would argue Mikel Arteta, Bournemouth fans would perhaps fairly say look at the job Areola has done, and Fulham fans are screaming hello Marco Silva, anyone. Howe cemented his place in Geordie folklore, ending that long-awaited cup drought. His place in Newcastle history is now eternal. He's Newcastle's greatest manager of the modern era. If he gets Champions League football for the second time in 3 seasons to go alongside a trophy, he will have to be considered as one of the elite coaches in the Premier League and in world football.